Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sip for Change. As always, we're your hosts, Tammy and Martine, here to bring you exciting conversations about making events more planet and people conscious.
Today, we're continuing our conversation from the last episode, where we talked about the not so glamorous parts of our jobs and how it leads to event planner burnout.
Yes, because burnout is real. From a social sustainability perspective, we need to make sure we're conscious about creating meaningful and mindful environments for our planners so that they can be out there designing meaningful events for your attendees.
And to do that, we're going to discuss some strategies and tips everyone can try to implement to curb the burnout.
In order to specifically avoid those moments where your body shuts down and you get seriously sick, because that's the only time you'll be forced to actually stop and rest, right? But we don't want to get to that point. So let's focus on some of these tips.
Certainly. But before we jump in, remember, these are the systems, mindsets, and habits that take time to build and require practice, but should ultimately keep us from crashing.
Love it. Let's start with number one. Build in recovery time into your contracts and your calendars.
Right. After big events, aim to block out one full no work day, no emails, no meetings, no just quick questions, just recovery. For individual planners, here is our pro tip. Add a clause in your contract. Planner will be offline the business day following major events for operational wrap up. For the rest of us, use those vacation days. It's necessary.
And use this day to do whatever you like, except work. I know we love our work, but don't work. Spend some time with your family or book a spa day. The goal of this day is self care. And of course, we prioritize self care. We should prioritize self care every day because, we're event planners and we know that that doesn't necessarily happen during event season. So I'm
Mm.
sure even taking this one day will be really hard for most of us.
And look, we get that surveys need to be sent out and reports need to be written and distributed, sometimes immediately after the event, if not the next day. So if you cannot take the following day, then take the next day. The point is to take a day to rest before you jump right back into your workflow and into the next event.
However, be mindful because what we don't want is that 3 to 5 days later and you still haven't taken that recovery day and you think, yeah, I'm already less stressed now that the event's over. So you jump right into the next one. Like we said before, event planners have high tolerance for stress. And most of the
Mhm.
times, we don't even recognize that our body is stressed or exhausted. So take that day.
Yes. Now, the next tip is to have set work hours and enforce them. Make auto reply and out of office notices your best friend.
That's right. If you're responding to emails at 11 p.m., guess what? People will start expecting responses from you at 11 p.m.
Our pro tip, use a reference document that communicates to your team and stakeholders your office business working hours, your expected response time to inquiries, how to reach you in case of emergency, or who. Then reiterate it whenever you work with new stakeholders and clients, or whenever you get a chance to, especially if and when you're seeing boundaries blurring.
And of course, we know that there are times where you'll need to work extra hours or be on site at an event, and that's outside of your standard business hours. In that case, be mindful and plan ahead. If setup time is 5 to 10, try to get everything done within that time period. And when 10 p.m. comes, you're ready to disconnect and just go prepare for sleep.
Or relaxation. I know that many of us need some time to unwind before jumping right to sleep sometimes.
Yes. Or if you're a night owl, your typical bedtime is 1 a.m., try to give yourself the flexibility to unwind after that 10 p.m. window.
The best way to help yourself unwind and reduce stress is by planning ahead and having backup plans. So have a plan B, C, and maybe even a plan D before the event with as much detail as possible, because we already said that in our previous episodes. It is really key.
Yeah, and in those backup plans, you should also include an outline for a risk management plan. If a vendor cancels or a venue floods or someone gets food poisoning, you know exactly what to do.
Mm. Having backup plans and risk management plans means that you wouldn't be trying to come up with solutions out of thin air. Someone somewhere has already experienced it, so do your research and gather your resources.
It'll help you be proactive instead of reactive.
Absolutely. And here's the pro tip on what to have in your risk management plan: list of backup vendors, crisis communication plans with talking point templates. We should include emergency contacts, roles, responsibilities with instructions for your team, including the various scenarios possible. Venue floor plans with emergency exit routes along with alternative exits entrances. Then insurance information, security information, and local authorities information.
Yep, yep. Thanks for that list. These are all very good things to have on hand. But we do recognize that not every event will need this amount of detail. So formulate scenarios in which this will come in handy. For instance, this could be when your anticipated attendance reach a certain headcount. It could be when you have high profile attendees or speakers, such as celebrities or politicians at your events. When you're in a densely populated city or high profile city like Washington, D.C. And it could also be the type of the event and the venue along with its risk factors. Thinking through these things will help you stay ahead.
You won't regret it, ever.
Now, segueing to the next tip, build a support system. Burnout thrives in isolation. We don't need just a team, we need genuine supportive people.
A virtual assistant can manage your inbox, but you need a friend to talk to post event, a coach to help you scale and grow, a therapist to help you not scream into a pillow.
Or maybe you went to actually scream into a pillow instead of at a client.
Oh, yes, we've all had those moments. Sometimes it really does help you feel better.
But the hope is that utilizing these tips will help prevent you from having to do that very often, if at all, right? So, our next pro tip is to create your support map to help organize yourself from the technical stuff all the way to the spiritual stuff.
Such as handles your calendar, who oversees the office supplies, who supports your mental health, who is your industry confidant, who is your mentor. If you're missing a piece, make that your next hire or connection.
And all of these people are important. A lot of event planners work independently, but those with a
Mm.
team share a sense of camaraderie and you feel less alone, and work gets done easier when you can work together efficiently.
Yep. The more you're able to delegate, the better you can allow your brain to focus on the important task. There's nothing more validating than collaborating or even commiserating with others that understand the struggle. Only another event planner can understand the frustration of changing the BEO, banquet event order, for the second time a week before the event because some forgot to tell you they have a dietary restriction, or when you needed to change the AV order the day before the event when you just got told you need to add a live stream.
Ugh, the bane of my existence. As event planners, we try to plan ahead. And
Mm,
but the things that we struggle most always tends to be the last minute changes from our stakeholders.
exactly. More of a reason why we should plan ahead whenever we can. And in industry where we have independent planners who work on their own and in-house planners that work for a company, managing balance and boundaries tends to get really hard. So again, why it's so important to have support systems.
That being said, for those independent planners, exercise your freedom and your authority whenever you can.
Hmm. Because the cold, hard truth is that not all money is good money.
It's so true. Not every client is worth working with. If they don't respect your time or respect you before they've paid, run. You don't need to owe everyone a yes.
Agreed. So our pro tip here is create a red flag checklist. This will also help you with our previous point about setting boundaries. This checklist will help you recognize more clearly the behavior you won't tolerate versus things that are okay.
So here are some examples that we think would qualify as some red flags that be worth us pushing back on. First one, can we hop on a quick call for the fifth time this week? It's just a small thing, but saying that every hour. Saying that, can't you just give me a discount? Every single time they quote you or you quote them a proposal. You're allowed to say no to any of these within reason. You're running a business, not a charity, and you deserve to prioritize yourself and your business.
Right. Now, if you work for a company, you don't necessarily get a choice on who you work with. So, for our industry leaders, protect your planners.
Yes, it's so critical for our events community to advocate for each other and defend one another. In the next
Mm.
episode of our mini series, we will be joined by a special guest to speak more about this.
Mm. Because the truth is, we love this work, and this is why we're still here. We love creating moments people remember forever.
As much as we love it, we can't be sacrificing our health for your highlight reel, right? That is not
Mm.
sustainable and that's not successful.
Exactly. If you're a planner, we see you and resonate with you. If you're not, we hope you see us more clearly now.
For those of you who resonate, drop your burnout story or your boundary win or your I snapped over beige linens moment in our comments. We want to hear it. We want to take a look at it. And if you love this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on an episode on one of our sustainability deep dives.
Thanks for sipping with us, and we'll see you next time. Until then, keep making conscious choices one sip at a time. Bye.
Bye.